Hey everyone, so I wanted to kind of continue talking about what I was talking about in the last video concerning justified spirits. Remember, the justified spirits of those accordingly accomplished in Hebrews 12:23 are the angels here, the same in Hebrews 1:7, making the spirits into his angels. The spirits are the justified spirits of those accordingly accomplished in their hallowing. When, as it were, he comes, when the Lord of the house comes to be glorified in his holy ones, who are finished in their hallowing, justified spirits of those accordingly accomplished, who are the angels also mentioned back here in the unveiling of the Lord from heaven at eventide. We're noticed in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16, we see how the outcall is mentioned again here, just like in Hebrews 12:23. Remember, and to the outcalled recorded in the heavens, which I talked about in the last video, which is the context of the next verse, who will be revealed in flesh and then be justified in the Spirit. So they're not the justified spirits of those accordingly accomplished at eventide, but they are justified in the Spirit as giving themselves stand by the outcalled and glorified when they come into the wedding feasts at midnight, which is taken up in glory here. So notice here it says to be made eyeable to angels as they are being justified in the Spirit. And a lot of people interpret this verse to be referring to Jesus or speaking of Jesus Christ as being revealed in flesh. John 1:14, when the Word became flesh, he had tent among us according to a human being. He was not revealed. In Mark chapter 3, verse 12, before the death of Jesus Christ, he warned them many times lest they may make him be revealed. So the Word become flesh was not a revealing. And it could be for another lengthy video, but there's been a lot of manipulation in the manuscript texts of this verse here. The point being is that the context of that which is according to the mystery of well honoring, the dwelling, mentioned back here, the outcalled, the dwelling of God, which is the outcalled, the body of Christ, will be revealed in flesh in the resurrection of all, and then justified in the Spirit post eventide, made eyeable to angels as down established beside angels, heralded in the nations and faithed in the cosmos, and then the taken up in glory is midnight. So, excuse me, the mystery of well honoring is contrasted to the mystery of the lawlessness. Back here in 2 Thessalonians again, chapter 2, verse 7, where the out of the midst is midnight. The word mesos here is the same as found in Matthew 25:6. Mesos, middle of the night, which the door to the wedding feasts, when it's closed here, is midnight, according to the watch times. This is the rapture of 1 Thessalonians 4:17, which I talk about in my pinned videos. So the point being, the mystery of lawlessness is contrasted to the mystery of well honoring back here in 1 Timothy 3:16, which is the hallowing of the outcalled, according to what I talked about in the previous video, where those who have to become justified in the Spirit qualifies them to enter the wedding feast as being taken up in glory. Here, midnight, according to the mystery of well honoring, which is the out of the midst. 2 Thessalonians 2:7, mesos, which is the same context of Matthew 25:6. Middle, mesos, which in conjunction with the middle of the night, the awakening of all of the virgins happens before midnight. So when those virgins who have oil are adorning their lamps and preparing to enter the wedding, they enter down here where the foolish are saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. So this is the rapture. The key word that points to 1 Thessalonians 4:17 is the same word here, epanthesis, right here. This is the out of the midst. This is taken up in glory according to the allotment of that outchosen before the downcast of the cosmos, which concludes what is called the all convocation, Hebrews 12:22, where again, the out called here are not the justified spirits here of those accordingly accomplished. They still have to become accordingly accomplished. Hence, be justified in the Spirit, made eyeable to angels, who are the good and faithing slave, which I talked about in video 141, who are down established beside angels before entering the wedding at midnight. Where here in Hebrews 2:7, we see the context of down establishing is somewhat less beside angels. Hence, eyeable to angels, as they are being justified in the Spirit, which the heralded in the nations and then in faith in the cosmos leads all the completion of the sober-minded virgins into the taken up in glory in the middle of the night, midnight, midst, out of the midst is what this context is.